Greetings, everyone. It is Dynasty Amir, Search for Uhuru. Thank you so much for joining us. As we always do before we get started, we just want to thank you all for the support. It really means a lot. Thank you for supporting Search for Uhuru. Thank you for joining us today. With that being said, make sure you hit that like button as you come into the chat room. Again, make sure you hit that like button and share and subscribe to the content. Again, like, share, and subscribe, everybody. I greatly appreciate it so we can continue to grow this platform. Also, go to dynastamir.com. Again, go to dynastamir.com. While you're there, make sure you grab a book. There's almost 84,000 of you all. So 84,000 products, whether it be books or the shirts, need to be moving. So guys, please go support so we can continue to reinvest that money into the platform and build our own platforms outside of YouTube, as we're already doing. And you'll see that on dynastamir.com. Also join the email list while you're there. Become a monthly Patreon as well. And get the banner going. Become a monthly Patreon, patreon.com, search for Uhuru. Again, we will really appreciate your guys' support. And then tour, April 21st through the 30th. April 21st through the 30th, we are going to Sierra Leone. Come and join us for a trip of a lifetime. Again, April 21st through the 30th, come and join us in Sierra Leone. We are going to have a great time, everybody. We are going to have a great time. Without further ado, we have Brother Sub-Zero on with us today. And today's topic is, why are black men like 50 Cent voting for Donald Trump? And why are black men like 50 Cent who decide to vote for Donald Trump, why are they being attacked for deciding on voting for Donald Trump? Like I said before, no, the tour is April 21st to the 30th. That was when the tour always was, April 21st to the 30th. So you want to roll, hit me up. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're Democrat. I don't care if you're Christian. I don't care if you're Muslim. I don't care if you're atheist. If you can add value, let's build. I mean, if you can add wisdom, value, if we have the same goals and initiatives, let's build. But for some reason, Sub-Zero, black people don't see it that way, which is very odd, especially in the condition that we're in. Sub-Zero, I know you're a black conservative. In fact, my bad, Sub-Zero. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Let people know who you are. And, yeah, my bad. I just jumped right into it.
Man. You good. My name is Sub-Zero 3639. I have a channel, Sub-Zero 3639. You cannot find my channel because YouTube has suspended my channel a few times.
Why?
Because my views aren't the typical conservative views. Let's put it like that. I'm down the middle. I'm fair. I love black people. I'm black first, so I always come from a black perspective, and certain things that are being forced and subjugated on our people, I'm gonna give you the link because I don't even think I can type in the chat. And what's up to Mister? I saw you, Mister. I can't say nothing. I can't type in the chat while I'm in here, but I'll run.
Email it to me and I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, I'll email it to you. With that being said, man, I run Lifting the Veil IT Academy. Shout out to Maurice. I just had a few students in the last couple of weeks get jobs. I train students nightly, Monday through Thursday. Students get out making anywhere from $30 to $60 an hour from the training that I give. I've been doing database development for about 10 years. And one of the main reasons that I brought that up as well, and you can email me, sub03639@gmail.com. And I'll be glad to try to talk to you about the class offline. We can talk. But let me say this, man. I run an IT academy, and I have right now, I think I got about 45 students, right, that are coming to class consistently. Out of those students, most of those students are African American. Now, I got a few that are from Jamaica, Haitians, and stuff like that, and Africans. But for the most part, most of those students are from America. So what Donald Trump has done is he's gotten in and he's basically cutting down on all these H-1B visas, because a lot of these people in tech, what they do is they bring people over on these visas, and first of all, they can give them lower rates. They lower the actual job market. So you got jobs paying $35 an hour that should be paying $55, right? They it's just a lot of unscrupulous practices that you can do with the Indians, as well as the Indians look out for one another. They kind of help each other out. They looking out for their people. There are more Indians and Asians in Silicon Valley than there are Americans right now, and whites. They've actually taken it over to that level. Most of the people in Silicon Valley weren't born in America. And so that's just one example as to why, if you are about building, like you just talked about, then you would not necessarily say be Republican, but you would definitely entertain all possibilities and not just beat down Ice Cube or beat down um what's his face 50 Cent,
Right.
because one of the things people have to understand, and I'm not a fan of Candace Owen by no stretch, but she actually made a good point yesterday. She was like, people, you have to understand, when a job creator leaves the state of California, like Ben Shapiro is leaving to Nashville. Ben Shapiro has 75 employees.
Right.
Who else is leaving?
Your boy Joe Rogan left.
Joe Rogan left. Charles Schwab left.
Your
A lot of
boy,
people.
Tesla. What's his name?
Yeah, yeah. Elon Musk.
He's
Elon Musk is leaving. So these are millions of jobs, not jobs, just but millions and millions of dollars that are leaving the economy. And instead of them getting the message, what they're doing is saying, "Hey, let's double down and raise the taxes up 16%." So this is where we are right now. We're at a situation where people aren't really, it's just not smart. And so what happens is those people leave, and then what happens is the tax burden, they don't change the taxes. The tax burden falls down to upper middle class, like black people, kind of like, people that black people making 120, 140. Those are the people that are going to get hit the heaviest with the tax burden. It goes down. And I know some people don't believe that, whatever. But the way it works is the job creators are the ones that if they paying 20% instead of 60%, they would actually be cool and content, and they'll be wanting to. And because they're greedy, if you say they're greedy, they'll be trying to invest. And I don't care how greedy I am. If I want to open up a McDonald's, I gotta hire somebody. I'm not going to sit there and do it all myself. If I open up a car wash, I'm going to hire somebody. Whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to hire someone. So if you feel like you're not getting a job of a certain ilk, then you probably need to increase your human capital, which is what I do. So for me, it's hard to complain when I see students coming to me working in call centers making $8 to $10, $12, and they come out now they're making $80,000, $90,000, and after I trained them for 3 months. So it's, we have a human capital issue in our community as well. So
okay. So Sub-Zero, you're a conservative. Why did you become a conservative?
first of all, I was a Christian. I was raised in the church. That was first, and still am a Christian. And my family is mostly Democrat. My brother, who me and him had a car wash when I graduated high school in Atlanta, mobile car wash, one of the first ones in Atlanta. I moved up here from Montgomery because I'm from Montgomery, Alabama, and I started washing cars. And every day we would listen to Rush Limbaugh. And I actually, as a young impressionable kid, got to listen without all the bias of he's racist. And so I just listened, and I was like, he making good points. And I started listening. I was like, he actually has a good point. And then I started listening to Sean Hannity and all that stuff. Now I don't agree with everything that they say, but what I'm saying is I started hearing these guys, and I said, man, they ain't bad. So then as the internet started coming and proliferating, people start, oh, they're racist. I'm like, no, I listened to these guys for years. I don't think so. I've called in on the shows. I actually spoken with Sean Hannity, called in a couple of times. So I didn't really think.
If I could interject real quick, guys, please hit that like button. We have over 100 people watching, only like 30 likes. Man, can you guys please hit the like button? Please hit that like button. It helps with the algorithm, whatever you said, however you said, whatever. So people could, have the opportunity to see the program. So please hit the like button so we get more views. And then something you understand that Sean Hannity right now and Tucker Carlson, they're getting more. Their ratings are higher than the NBA, NFL, MSNBC, and CNN damn near combined right now.
Yeah. So I mean, look, man, when it comes down to it, Uru, man, like if it was up to me, if I was especially a black man, I think you should support the Republican movement, and I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, Donald Trump built the wall. If you're black in America, and you know that Dr. Claude Anderson, who I have utmost respect for him to say Friday on the Breakfast Club that he is telling us to vote for Joe Biden, I lost all types of respect. I still respect him. I respect him, but I lost a lot of respect for him relatively, because I feel like for you to say that black people should support a guy who who is against building the wall when you told us we're going to get overran by illegal immigrants. Just on building the wall alone, I think you should support it. Secondly, school choice. We've been talking about schooling in African-centered schools for years, and now you have African-centered. You can actually go, and a lot of these sisters with these PhDs and these degrees and stuff can actually go and start putting their kids. You can put your children in African-centered schools. You know what I'm saying? Black people have opportunities because that creates an opportunity in business for you to create a school. And if you're getting $10,000 a year per child, and you got 110 children coming to your school, that's 1.1 million dollars. 100 kids, you're only looking at maybe 5 teachers. You get what I'm saying? So that's it, maybe 4 to 5 teachers, and then maybe you split it and pay the bills, and everybody's happy. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference. Just a lot of opportunity for education. The H-1B visa thing. I mean, it's just 3 or 4 different things that I think would benefit black people. Secondly, packing the Supreme Court. Let me say this right here.
Right.
This is what I believe. If they, and I know people don't want to hear, a lot of people gonna doubt this. Let me explain something. If they try to touch the voting rights for black folks, it's gonna be a civil war. And excuse my French, shit going down. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be bloodbath. That being said, I don't think that's why they don't want to suppress. They want to pack the Supreme Court. They want to protect killing of 1,400 black babies a day. They want to protect the pedophilia that they about to push through, that they trying to fight for in California. And if it's in California, you better believe that pedophilia coming on down the pipe to the Supreme Court. And eventually, people are going to be able to have, as long as your 4-year-old daughter consents to it, people are going to feel like they can have sex with your little 4-year-old daughter without.
God, that just sounds, yeah.
I know it sounds that, but I'm telling you, it sounds crazy, but they're lowering the penalty for pedophilia. Like, and people don't know this. Like, this is something that Democrats in California have actually pushed for. I'm like, who in the hell is lobbying for pedophiles? Who does? Now, I don't want to go into.
Yeah, let's not go all the way.
I ain't gonna go too far into it.
Yeah,
but it is what it is, man. A lot of that stuff is very is out there. It's prevalent and it's coming. It's not just Roe v. Wade. And so a lot of the morality, you just had a presidential candidate tell a woman that it's okay for her little 8-year-old son to take hormones and to be a woman. Like, you're not even gonna let him hit puberty. Like, he's 8. He should be playing with toys. You talking about his sex life at 8 years old. This is the guy who's gonna pack the support. What is that? What type of morality, what type of values do these people have? And at this point, I don't think it's I don't like both sides thing. I think right now, at this point, it's you can't be neutral now. You can't. They're not allowing you to. I could be neutral if you just want to raise taxes, even though I think that's stupid. I can see why people will be neutral. It ain't just about raising taxes no more. It's not. They won't allow it to be.
So in the chat room, people were saying, the typical Trump's a racist, so you're an idiot for supporting Trump. What would be your response to that? The typical, as if liberals aren't racist, but for some reason,
let me say this right here, man. And I just talked about this a few minutes ago on my channel. Let me say this, man. Black people love white people. Not only do we love white people, we worship white people. We care so much about if a white person, what they feel in their hearts about us. That's what we care about. This man can sit up here and say, hey, I'm going to do reparations. You still would have black folks, which I don't think he is. But you still would have black people. I don't want to talk to Trump. Trump's a racist. Trump would say, hey, I got a business program I'm going to implement for black people. Trump's a racist. You could be racist. I don't really care, guys. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. I'll let the cat out the bag. I don't care if Trump is a racist. I care about policies. What I just gave you was policy. You gave me he's racist. You gave me you'll probably never see this man in person. If he implements something that hurts black people, then you have a point. But he's letting black people out of jail. I'm not saying he loves black. He can hate black. I don't really care. Those are 2 different things. Whether or not a person is racist is of little consequence. What matters to me is what you implement, what you do, right? If you throw a lot of black people in jail, which, believe me, prison reform is not even number 10. It's not even in my top 10 for issues that the black community face. Okay. Right. That's something we shouldn't be worried about. I know that sounds, well, damn, you trying to say you want to leave me in jail? No, I'm not trying to say that, but let's not. If I had to pick a list of things, if I got to the table and I'm negotiating with government officials, I ain't talking about no damn prison reform. That ain't the first thing I'm gonna fix. That's like number 12, number 13 for me. It's an issue, but it ain't the issue. You get what I'm saying? And so I think what happens is black people really have to let go of this wanting to be loved by white folks. And you say, well, I don't want to be loved. I don't care about that. Everybody will say that, but not everybody lives by that. Because when you tell me, if I sit up here and I talk about a policy where your son or daughter can get an education at a private institution where they can have a better quality of life, that affects you much more than a person who you say is racist. Because at the end of the day, in 4 years, he's going to be gone. But guess what? If you got school choice, if he built a wall to stop illegal immigrants, because guess what, guys? This is just basic math. Black people, 85%, I know people don't like when I get these statistics, but it's just the truth. You can go look this up. 85% of us can't read at a proficient level when we graduate high school.
So, dude, let me stop you right there. From my understanding, in California or in the LA, 75% of black kids, or like 70%, can't read at a proficient level.
That's actually better.
It's like our reading still at like a kindergarten, something crazy.
Yeah,
can't read really. There you go.
That's what I was about to go into. It's 84% of the national, all of us basically, out of all black kids, 84% of us can't read at a proficient level. 48% can't read at a basic level. So what happens is that means you're going to be locked in as the low skilled labor, right? So who are you competing against for low skilled labor? People that come across migrant workers from other countries that are coming into America. If I tell you, hey, if they build a wall, they can stop them migrant workers and they'll have to pay you more than $10 an hour because now you American. They know they can't just treat you any kind of way. You could do this, you could do that. The prices will go up. But if you got a Mexican essay coming here saying he'll work 60 hours for $7, they're gonna be like, why the hell? All right, I'm paying $7.25. I'm not paying no $10, $14 like you want. So everything that you claim you want, a lot of times with just off that one piece alone, I would wait till he build that wall before I be talking about getting Trump out of there. That's one thing that will help black people is building a wall. That's first. Secondly, school choice. If your child is in a failing school and locked in a failing school, and you can send your child to an African center school or any black school that you want to, or any whatever school, right? That child would actually have a better education system, better teachers, smaller class size. That benefits black people. These are just basic fundamental things. I'm not even saying Trump's not racist. You never heard me say he isn't racist. I just made a video going through all the stuff, the reasons why they say he's racist, and I call them bullshit. But at the end of the day, let's say he really is. What does that do with the actual, what does that do with the things on the ground? What's going on with the actual assets, the actual tangibles? What's going on? We need tangibles.
Hold on, stop the show. Guys, if you want to call in, again, I see you guys in the chat room. If you want to call in, the email is uhuru@searchforuhuru.com. It's just funny. Everybody has an opinion in the chat room, but there's like, oh, I'm at work. I can't call in right now. I can't do this. I can't do that. Okay, if you disagree with Sub-Zero, you are more than welcome to call in and voice your opinion. No problem. Send me an email, and I will email you the link. Also, in the on the bottom of the screen, that's Sub-Zero's link. Go subscribe to his page. It's also in the chat room as well. Go subscribe to his page. Go ahead.
Okay, so I just saw somebody. I'm not reading the comments because I'll be going back and forth with people. I'm trying to really.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Don't worry about it. Let them call in.
Let me say this right here. First of all, I saw one guy said racist people make racist policies, kind of like the '94 crime bill. Kind of like, let me tell you what I would do if I was a racist. I'd be for abortion. That's number one. I make damn sure you kill all the babies you can. I would also probably enrich myself and put Chinese business interests over the foreign policy that's going to benefit American workers, right? Because I'm not worried about the white person. See, the white people have infrastructure that we don't have, right? So they're going to be okay. But what does Dr. Claude Anderson say? When they get a cold, we get pneumonia. when they get the flu, we're dead. When it's all said and done, they have infrastructure we don't have. The person that's going to hurt the most by somebody that's actually trying to benefit China is the low-skilled worker. Who has the highest concentration of low-skilled workers? If they move manufacturing out this country, black people can get manufacturing jobs, but if they move it out to China and they tell you that it's not coming back, and hey, you need to get used to not living up here and get used to a lower level of living, which is literally what your president told you. President Obama told you that, right? And then somebody comes in and they do things to benefit the American worker. You can hate America all you want to, but see, this is what I mean about. And I know it's gonna be a little controversial, but I gotta get this off my chest. Most of us are house niggas anyway. See, when it's all said and done, most of us want to stay at a certain comfort level because we don't want real freedom and real independence. Because guess what comes with that? Responsibility and accountability for your actions. See, if you tell somebody that hey, you're gonna leave this plantation, you get your freedom, but you ain't gonna get to sleep in the master's quarters. I mean, you ain't gonna be able to sleep in the slave quarters. You ain't gonna get your burlap sack. Well, look at your burlap clothes that you wear in your little shed. You sleeping on the dirt floor. You might as well go out and be independent. You can do better than that on your own. But that therein, it comes with a certain level of accountability for your actions. That's that. See, a lot of black people ain't spit that Willie Lynch chip out. They just haven't.
Oh, hold on. Somebody said that you're really Lynch. Somebody said that.
I mean, of course they said they can say that. That's what I'm saying. What am I saying? What do you hear me talking about? Getting freedom to pick where your child can go to school. You hear me talking about putting black people in Silicon Valley, which is what I've done. But I'm a coon. You see what I'm saying? Right. I'm the coon. I've gotten over almost $2.5–3 million worth of offers for black people to get IT tech jobs. That's what I do every night. I'm up to 8 o'clock there. I mean, I start at 8 o'clock. We go to class to 11. I done invested my time and energy, but I'm a coon though, see? And I'm trying to talk about resources, benefits. You talking about a motherfucker's heart. You see what I'm saying? It's fucking stupid. Excuse my French. You talking, you just stupid. That's the problem. I don't care. I'm telling you what, look, man, I want this, I want that. Let's see if we can get this. Let's see if we can get that. Let's get this better. Oh, nigga, you working with Republicans? You a coon. Like, how are these niggas? Come with some real, I'm talking about tangibles, damn it. I don't give a damn if you're Republican or Democrat. I'm talking about black people getting tangibles, choosing your own where your kids go to school. I'm talking about protecting traditional family values where your damn Supreme Court ain't out here putting us in jail because you had a gender reveal and said that your child was a boy. Oh, can't do that. You're forcing. That's racist. That's where we going. Like, this shit is out of control. And so me trying to protect traditional family values, giving you independence and saying that you can have your own shit, and you telling me this doesn't make any sense. This is complete coonery. Is that what you're telling me? That's why we excuse me, brother. That's why we messed up, man. That's why. Because if I come and tell you, it's just like in the movie when somebody tell you, hey, man, the monster's out there. Don't go out there. The monster gonna get you. You always got that dumb person that wants to negotiate with the monster. Oh, no, we can go out. Let's go sit and talk where the monster been killing. Let's leave them. Let's get away from them. This is the thing. I'm just saying that all I'm talking about is everything I said has been to protect the black community. You know what I'm saying? Everything I'm saying is from a place of protection of the black community. Everything. It's not like I said something. I'm talking about protecting black babies. I'm talking about protecting our jobs. I'm talking about increasing our human capital so we can compete in the 21st century. I'm talking about increasing our income, all that shit. And I'm the coon. I'm the coon. Come on, man.
Guys, hit that like button. Guys, please hit that like button. We have 240 people watching. Again, if you have not hit the like button, hit that like button, please. All right, Courtney, go ahead.
Hi, Grand Rising, everyone in the chat. Brother Sub-Zero, you're right on point. I just wanted to, I'm going to hit it and quit it. I'm not going to belabor the point because you're literally hitting everything that I was, excitedly listening to. I can tell you as a former elected official, I ran as a Republican. I was elected. I'm now a libertarian. But the reason why people always, ask, well, why did you run as a Republican? And I said, the reason why I ran as a Republican is because guess what? Republicans know policies. Democrats know people. Yes, they're talking about heart. They're talking about emotions. as opposed to talking about, hey, what are we going to do to put things into this community long term? So yes, after I was elected, I went over to Libertarian, but let me tell you this, and I'm going to hit it with these three main factors of why, if we don't get on code with policy making, if we do not get on code with policy making, we can kiss our communities goodbye. All of those communities that we say we love and we say that, is a part of our culture, we can kiss them goodbye. Number one, absolutely, is home ownership. Home ownership is land. And with us always, and when I say us, I'm talking to us, I'm talking to Black people, melanated people, African American descent, foundational Blacks, whatever way you want to call it. We are at the lowest rate of home ownership since the year before we could have the right to vote.
Oh,
This is facts.
Courtney, if I can interject real quick too. So
Yes.
when I first moved to Atlanta in 2014, real estate was still relatively inexpensive. Now I'm trying to figure out who's able to afford these homes. So it's even becoming a position. And the thing about it is Atlanta is a so-called democratic city, and so I'm trying to figure out who's able to afford these homes now in Atlanta. Cause the prices are just even like in places like Stone Mountain and like Tony, the prices are going up. So I'm just thinking, like, who's able to afford these homes these days? Because I was making good money when I bought my house.
Well, that is true, but guess what? You're still in the top. It's still in the top 7 cities. We're still in the top 7 cities to live here in Georgia than we are anywhere else in the United States. And when it comes to home ownership, as well as when it comes to the disparity between the cost of living and the salaries that you make. So we are still at a deficit. The only cities that are higher than us are in Texas. So,
Right.
And that was my option. The organization that I was coordinating for, they said, well, hey, our other options are, they said Chicago, Texas, and Atlanta. And I said, hey, I'm going back to Atlanta. That wasn't even an option to go to Texas. But that's the number one thing. So even as prices are increasing, I can tell you what, when I was in Miami, I was paying almost $2,000 a month for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. But here I am back in, Atlanta, and I'm paying half of that. I'm paying only $1,000 for a townhome, split level, multiple baths. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. But that's the number one reason our home ownership is doing nothing but declining. And we are so hard fighting developers. Let me tell you, the best jobs I have ever worked have been for developers, because you're talking about reimagining communities. You're talking about being able to have a direct line to how they're developing the communities. But
I want to ask you something. So, and
Sure.
This is the thing I talk about. The problem we have is when you have a group of people that don't want to increase their human capital, and they like, okay, I'm 35 years old, able-bodied, making $15 an hour. I can't afford, if you come in the neighborhood and fix up all these houses and they take the taxes up, it hurts me. Now, instead of that person saying, well, let me go increase my human capital, let me see if I can try to make more money so I can afford it, they'll rather you not fix the community up. Because if you do, then you're running them out of their community. And
Bingo.
It's called reverse.
Bingo.
It's called reverse gentrification. That's a new term.
Absolutely. Bingo. Been there. Listen, where I was the councilwoman, I was the youngest elected council member in Coconut Grove, Miami, Florida. Think about this and just do a little research. Like I always tell people all the time, don't believe me, read it, because I know you hate to read, but read it. Go and look statistically. When Coconut Grove was founded, it was founded by 35,000 Bahamians. This is how it was founded. Let me tell you, by the time I just moved back to Atlanta from Miami, Florida. I didn't grow up in Miami. However, I went there, and within a few years, my sister, who is a political strategist here as well, she actually came down. She saw my community. I ran for office. By the time I left Coconut Grove, which was just recently, they have less than 2,000 Bahamian descendants there. How does this happen? How does this happen? I tell you how it happens, which brings me to my other 2 points. The second point, Sub-Zero hit it right on the head once again: education. Education. You separate people from their, brother, another YouTube content creator was just saying last night on the live that slaves were willing to die for the knowledge of reading. Now we can't get us to even open a book. And this does extend right down to the parents, because listen, the reason why education is so important in communities is because families make communities. That's the way it is. Like you said, it definitely needs to be high density. It's going to be high density if you have the more families that you have. But if you're sitting around being more concerned with, listen, if you're being more concerned with $10 jobs than you are with the proper education of your children, we're encaving on each other. We're collapsing.
Omega, that it's almost funny because this guy's in the chat talking about we're fools to think Donald Trump has our best interest. It's not that I'm thinking Donald Trump has.
Thank you.
It's what?
No,
I don't give a damn if Donald Trump hates my fucking gut.
We have got to have our best interest. Thank you, Sub-Zero. We have got to have our best interest. And listen, go ahead, brother.
And not just that. The point I'm trying to make is, how is giving me a choice versus locking my son or daughter in a failing school not in my best interest?
Come on.
In understanding basic economics, whenever you give a consumer a choice, it actually is better for the consumer. We're the consumers of this education. So zoning and locking us up with teachers unions.
Thank you.
Failing school, where your son or daughter is locked in a failing school. They got the teachers don't really care. Got teachers that don't even show up half the time. They doing substitute teachers all the time. If you do that and you lock your son or daughter, and we right now at the bottom academically, that there alone is why you should support that. Building a wall so that your son or daughter doesn't have to compete with the illegal.
Doesn't have to compete. This is
just basic common sense.
Listen,
this has nothing to do with love for Donald Trump. This is not love for Donald Trump. This is love for our people.
And let me tell you,
accept that because you haven't spit the Willie Lynch chip out. You can say you Pan-African all you want to. You ain't
come on.
Willie Lynch chip out if you think that giving your children a better education is not good.
A choice, giving them a choice. And let me tell you, number three reason, as quiet as it's kept, let me tell you why this number 3 reason is number 1 on the Democrats' policy points, when the Democrats' agenda, and especially when it comes to the nefarious and the misleading, quote unquote, Black Lives Matter. When you talk about defunding the police, think about the fact that nationally, 30% of the police force is made up by who? African Americans. So guess what? When you defund the police, guess whose jobs start getting cut? Guess who all of those salaries and those benefits start getting cut for? Oh yeah, uncle. You know, so many of us were raised in families that have that have the uncle, the cousin, my nephew here in Atlanta. Just made detective before he even reached 30 years old, and just resigned from the police department because, you know, he doesn't want to be known as a coon to his son. He doesn't want to be known as a coon in his community. Just resigned. Had made detective before he even reached 30 years old. Resigned. So guess what he's doing now? Going to be driving trucks. And I'm going to hit it. I'm going to hit it and quit it. I'm going back to working out. But brother Sub-Zero, you're right on point. I'm subscribed to your channel. Dynast, thank you so much for leading the day with this type of conversation, because this is what we need to be talking about. On my channel later today, I am doing a problem with Biden live, and everyone is definitely welcome to join. But thank you again for starting the day with this, because this is getting us right. We got to get right, y'all.
No problem. Thank you, Courtney, for joining us.
Thank you, sis.
All right, guys, hit that like button again. Please hit that like button to come in the chat room. All right, go ahead, Darius.
Yeah, there are 2 things that I would like to address. The first one had to do with her defund the police. And she said that 30% of those police officers are Black, and they refer to the salaries. First of all, the defund the police movement is not talking about salaries. We're talking about funding, as in they should not be able to get military vehicles, armed equipment, stuff that is used in literal war. We're not talking about people's salaries or people's pensions. We are talking about literally the police force having military equipment, almost like a paramilitary paratroop force. So that's the first thing I want to get out the equation. Secondly, when you're talking about Trump's tax cuts, 80% of those tax cuts went to the rich. Mind you, in this pandemic, the wealth inequality has exacerbated, where we have seen major multinational corporations earn the vast amount of money. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and then
there is, you know, me and Fitzgerald Stevens, we talked about this before. Well, then the goal should be to get rich.
that we would all like that for that to happen, but there are barriers to entries, and as a result, you are seeing small businesses. You're seeing small businesses go out because it's easy for us to say to get rich. But if I were to ask you, okay, what are the barriers to entry? What are the costs? What is this market? How much does this company have in terms of market power? Is this a monopolistic competition competitive market? Is this an oligopoly, a duopoly? These all play factors.
Dynast, let me know when I can speak, bro. Go ahead, bro.
No, go ahead, Sub-Zero.
Yeah,
Darius, hold on, Darius. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Darius, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done right now. Sub-Zero can speak.
All right. So first off, the police thing is not even a major issue for me. It's really not. And I'm not a friend of the police. I'm really not. I've had police do all types of stuff, be disrespectful. But if I had to look at the Black community and where we are right now and what's going on, first issue of order for me is economic, Black economics. That's the first thing I will focus on, not the police. You know, killing per year they kill 1,000 people. I actually looked at the data. Now, when you talk about the data, the emotional response is going to be, what if that was your cousin? What if that was your uncle or auntie, right? So, but when you look at the data and say, okay, per year it's 1,000 people, of which 25% is Black, of which 20% of those, 50 on average over the last 5 years have been Black, which is, I mean, have been unarmed, which is not good, needs to be changed, but that's not the number one issue that I would face. I would first push economics. That's me. Secondly, when it comes to the wealth gap, the gap as far as where people are, the poor in America versus the wealthy. So what's happened is the stock market is at all-time highs. So what happens is wealthy people are going to get extremely wealthy because they have dollar cost averaging. They buy more of this stuff. You have people on your channel, Dynast, that talk about this all the time. They buy more in a poor. When the market goes down, they buy more. So when it goes up, they get richer, right? But the poor are actually improving as well. So, but they're not improving at the rate that the wealthy are. My thing is, and I don't think that there's a fact or guarantee that everything's going to be distributed evenly. Everybody doesn't have the same height. Everybody doesn't have the same thing. But the average, The average way of life for the average American, like us being the wealthiest Black people on earth, by sheer fact that we are in America and we benefit from that. Now I'm telling us, let's take what we have, and as the 8th wealthiest or 16th wealthiest, if we were a nation, people on this planet, let's aggregate it. Let's start building. Let's start focusing on us and our shit and economics as the number one issue. And that's what I'm saying. I don't think that we should be so worried about the ultra wealthy, because we can have our own, and if we focus on it. I think you're like, well, we do focus on it. Well, yeah, but I mean, the number one issue right now is police brutality. Most Black people care more about police brutality and a viral video that Facebook. You ought to go see that documentary called Social Dilemma, because Social Dilemma goes in on how strong social media is. One video could enrage 45 million Black people. And it's one person. I'm not saying it's good. Trust me, I'm not a friend of the police. I'll say it again. But one video can go viral and move a whole people to a action over a video. We won't worry about the 1,400 Black babies. Not gonna go into Black on Black crime, because people get emotional when you say 7,500 Black people get killed a year. But we don't really care about that. So I'm not gonna talk about it. But the point I'm trying to make is that's a big issue that I think we should focus on, is economics first. That will solve a lot of this crime that we have. That will actually, when they do some dirt, you would be able to go to court. You would be able to afford lawyers. You would be able to stop a lot of that stuff if you have your economic game together first. Begging people to give you sympathy, if they don't give a damn about it. which I don't think a lot of them do. I'm not even gonna argue with you. I don't think a lot of them really care about black people. They care about themselves. Nobody's gonna take food off their grandchildren's table and give it to you. So we should focus. We shouldn't be kneeling for the national anthem. We should be standing up. Okay, yeah, let's keep the ratings up. Yep. Now let's take that money and let's start and let's aggregate and do something for ourselves. Nobody's gonna save us. No government program. We's not gonna shame the government. Biden, the guy who has been racist for 30, 40, 50 years of just racist all throughout, all of a sudden he's gonna get in office and love black people. He was in there when Michael Brown happened, didn't do a damn thing. We got to save ourselves. Nobody's going to save us. I think that's the thing that bothers me. I'm not going to shame a white liberal to feel sorry for me and love on me and give me something. They're not going to do a damn thing for us. They're not.
Oh, I agree. I'm not saying that I'm expecting white sympathy from white liberals or white conservatives. I'm at the point where if they have no sympathy, they have no sympathy. Like, I'm just not trying to beg. But to say that we don't need to lobby the government or advocate for the government, I think is just that part right there. I disagree.
I didn't say that. I didn't say. I said if you want to affect change in the government, like Dr. Claude Anderson said before he went on the Breakfast Club and switched. But when he said was if you want to affect government, you build your economic base. Secondly, you rent or lease politicians. Third, you change the courts. If we're going to change the courts, we got to have the economic base built. Let's focus on that first and push for that. That should be the number one thing we should be focused on right now, to change the police, to affect the police. That's what I'm saying.
All right. My response to that question will be: how are we going to build an economic base without access to the major sources of capital, human capital, land, and labor?
I got that. First of all, human capital. Number one, I run an IT academy. There are some things about us we have to understand about ourselves. If you're going to fix something, you have to look at everything. If a car is broken down, and you just say the battery's bad, and you don't want to look at everything in the electrical system where it won't start, you don't want to look at the starter, you don't want to look at the alternator, then you're not really trying to solve the problem. We have to look at who we are as a people and say there are certain things about ourselves that we need to change as well, or we'll never be benefited. We'll never benefit. So number one, if we spend 30 minutes a night on homework and Asians spend 2 hours, they're going to always kick our ass academically, always, right? Secondly, let's not fight against school choice. School choice will allow black kids to, maybe they're not excited about school. They need to get in a better school. Because some people seem to blame it on school. It's not the parents. It's not the kids. It's just schools. Okay, well, let's not push against or vote against children getting an option of going to a better school where they might be excited, where they might get around a teacher, a male teacher who takes an interest in them, right? If you're excited, if you change the schooling, then we'll be able to get that human capital. And when you can get human capital, I'm a big fan of Dan Locke. Dan Locke puts a video out every day. Dan Locke talks about you need to have a skill that pays $10,000 a month. If you have a $10,000 a month skill, you can navigate and move toward the paperwork. I used to be broke. I used to make $13 an hour as a produce manager. Now when I go in the bank, it's a lot easier to borrow money. I couldn't borrow money when I was making $13. Now I can. The difference was I increased my human capital. So the first step, if we bag back and say, okay, how do we get to where we can borrow? First of all, black people also can get loans fairly easily. I've flipped all types of houses. I've ran all types of businesses. I've had an underwriter on my program on my YouTube channel a while ago, and the underwriter was talking about the steps he takes to give people loans. And so you can get loans with the internet. Now, people don't even have to know who you are. I think what happens is, do you have the collateral? Well, I don't have the collateral because I only make 40,000. Why? Well, I work at this thing and I'm doing this and I'm on only make. Okay, well, can we increase that? Yeah, but I would have to go to school. I would have to get a trade. Okay, let's do it. What are the steps? Let's take action. Let's do something. Let's not just sit and lock in and say, just because I'm 35 years old, at 55, I'm gonna still be making, under $40,000. No, at 55, you should be at this point. You should be able to set goals and certain things. First, let's start with school choice. School choice can help black people tremendously. We've seen it in New Orleans when Katrina hit. They brought in a lot of different types of school. They broke the unions, got away from Katrina, got away from the schooling, And what happened is a lot of black kids in New Orleans started actually testing better. We've seen it when kids get choices and the parents are able to pick better schools. Those kids actually are able to compete academically. I train people every day. So it's going to be hard for me, a guy who's seen people come in doubting themselves, not having any confidence, sitting on their couch unemployed. I got a student named Mark. That might be him. I don't know. Mark was unemployed. He said he was depressed. Mark is making like almost $100,000 now. He's starting a business. The brother came. He invested in himself. He worked hard. He put the work in. And you like, man, that shit don't work. That's that pull yourself up by your bootstraps. No, well, let's at least start with school choice then. Let's at least do that. If we do that, we will see a difference. Because if you as a parent really care about your child and you know they're not doing well, you're gonna take them out. And now if you got $10,000 towards any private school that you want to send your son or daughter, you don't have, that's $800 a month you can send your son. And it's really 9 months out the year. So that's like $1,100 a month that you can take your child and you ain't got to pay for it. That's a lot of money. That's $500 every 2 weeks towards your child's education. That will put them in a better situation and better scenario where they can compete. You can't compete if you coming out and 85% of us can't even read at a proficient level and 48% of us can't read at a basic level. That's a failed system. So let's fix that. If we do that, then we are set. And see, me, I'm all about adjustment. So if we do that and that happens, which I think Trump is going to win, if that happens and he actually pushes that through, and let's come back and reassess. Okay, here's where we are right here. We saw a slight result here, but this happened. Then we make a change, make an adjustment. Black people, we don't have to have the same strategy from the damn Great Depression. We've been voting Democrat since the Great Depression. I'm not saying vote Republican, but we have been voting Democrat at a majority rate since the 1930s, and it has hurt us. So thinking a certain way and changing the way we look at stuff won't hurt anything. I don't see nothing wrong with that. That's just me.
Mark, go ahead, Mark.
Hey, what up, Sub? What up, Dynast?
What's up, man?
Yeah,
what's up?
yeah. So I was the one Sub was talking about, and it's exactly like he said. I was in a bad state of mind. I didn't have I really didn't even have a job, to be honest. But I took the class. I listened to what he said. I was diligent about what I had to do to get to where I had to get to. And then about a month after the class was over, I got a job. You know, it's not, we really do have to take responsibility for our life. You know, I was on, what they call it, Medicare, being taken care of the Medicaid, exactly, being taken care of the government for my chronic disease. But what did I do when I got this? I stepped out, started paying for my own medicine, started doing my own things, living my own way of life, opened my business, didn't really find any problems getting a loan. Then, you know, like everything that people say, you know, you need government for, you really don't. If I'm being honest, you really don't. You just have to have the work ethic for it. And it's not like you have to open your own business and whatnot. You get that skill that people need, get that skill that people are willing to pay whatever to get, and you'll be in a good place. I'm literally living proof. And I actually found out about Sub on this channel too. And it was the best thing that happened in my life. But I'm not only talking for myself, I'm talking for the other students that have been in the class, other people that I've helped, other people, you know, where we just build up a community within ourselves. Black people building up a community to help one another succeed. You know what I'm saying? It's different. It's different. So, you know, I just came on just to give a little plug, but also to let y'all know that look at the policies. Fundamentally, look at the policies and see what those policies say about you. Are you about family? Are you about self-improvement? Are you about having basically responsibility and dominion over whatever you want or decide to want? If you are, just look at the policies, look at what makes sense, you know?
Amen, brother. Let me say this. The brother made this statement saying, how do you compete academically and economically without migration? All right, he talked about Japan and China and Germany being in Africa. a ticket to Africa round trip right now, if you want to go, what's the day? If you want to go in about 5-6 days, you're looking at about $1,500 to $2,000.
You might. Well, depending where you're flying out of, you fly out of New York, you can catch one for. You might be able to catch one for less than $1,000, depending where you're going.
You okay? But and you talking maybe a month out? I'm talking about
No.
You like in 2 weeks. That's gonna be high.
You can.
Okay. Well, you know, you are the authority. I'm not gonna argue with you. What I'm saying is, a lot of black people don't even have $500 in their bank account. They can't. So in order for like, I listen. If you want to do, if I want to see black people traveling and doing certain things, I'm for black empowerment. Africans, Jamaicans, Haitians, not just African Americans. But in order to do that, you need to be able to stamp your passport. You need to be able to afford to go over to fly to Africa, get you a room. First of all, the first trip you go, you don't know what you're looking at. So you probably need to take 3 or 4 trips before you start really conducting business and really know what you're talking about, unless they go with you because you already know, right? That's a plug for you to go with Dynast. I might go with you, brother, to Sierra Leone. But what I'm saying is, if I didn't have Dynast and I was just going to Africa outright, you're talking, man, $10,000 invested before you can even, you know what I'm saying? You got to have money. And that's not hard for the student Mark that was just talking. In a couple of months, he could have his hands on $10,000 and go to Africa 5 or 6 times back to back if he felt like it. Because he has the skills, he makes enough money, and he can do that. But if you don't have that and you working at wherever making $12, it would take you 6-7 months just to save up to do one trip. Because you got to pay light, gas, water, food, rent, everything. Child don't have no kids. So I'm just trying to give you options and give black people empowerment. Empowerment comes with, you got to increase the human capital. In order for us to get over there like the Chinese and the Japanese and the Germans, we're going to have to increase our skill set, or we're going to be trapped right here in America, locked where Dr. Claude Anderson talks about, and nobody cares. Nobody does. And so the only people that really care are people like me and us. We care about each other. Obviously, we care about ourselves. Other than that, I don't think nobody else cares. Not even Republicans. And I'm a conservative. I'm not a Republican. I'm a conservative. I know some racist ass Republicans out there. Ain't no fool. But I'm talking about what benefits me. I could care. I don't care if you wear a Klan outfit and come and you the damn president. I don't really care. I care about what benefits us, what benefits black people, what benefits me to help black students get into Silicon Valley and get into these tech jobs. Because out in the middle of the woods, there's a factory somewhere and they got a database and there's an Indian sitting in front of it or an Asian sitting in front of it in a predominantly black town. I'm from Montgomery. You go out past Camden and Clark County, number of black folks. All them factories out there, it's Asians and Indians running them damn databases. That's who's running it. And those jobs are paying 90, 110, right in the middle of Camden and Clark County and all these different areas, right? Why can't that be us? That's what I'm trying to do. You know, that's what I'm about, empowerment. If I'm about empowerment, I'm not, listen, I'm not, I knew what I was going to be called when I came on here, which is I'm going to be called the coon.
No, but let me say this, Sub-Zero. You have a lot of people who agree with you. And guys, hit that like button. We have 400 people watching. Please hit the like button. Again, hit the like button. And Sub-Zero, real quick, I just want to read the super chats. Joshua Stevenson, Dynast, the root of the issue is the root of the issue with Black America is that we compete with each other way too much. And when we become successful, we'll leave our communities and don't come back to build infrastructure. And then Courtney Omega, right on time with this one, Dynast. Let's continue to connect and build. All right, go ahead, Sub-Zero.
No, that's a good point that brother made. That was a damn good point. Let me say this, man. I'm not trying. Last time I came on here and made a comment, it started a war with you know who, right? You remember, right? So I got to watch what I say because I don't like getting into these YouTube beefs over dumb shit. But let me say this, man. I'm not the one. I don't have a YouTube channel telling black men to get the hell out of their communities and not care about their own people. I don't. I care. I could move my ass out in the woods and live around white folks and live a comfortable lifestyle. I don't have to think. But I believe in giving back. I do. That's why I started it. And that's why I only charge $400 for it. I'm about to change that. But at this point, I'm still charging $400. But I'm about to take it up. It's going to be a monthly subscription, $297. But the reason I'm doing that is when I first started, it was just to help black people. Nothing made me feel more fulfilled than the day that Mark called me and said, man, I got it. I did it. They giving me like $40 an hour. This is the most I ever made, an hour. I was like, man, I was proud. I was happy. But the point I'm trying to make is most middle class people I know, like when I first started my school, I had a brother that's in tech tell me, man, look, man, if black people could do, a lot of black people can't do tech because they just don't have the mind for it. This is a black person making 100-some thousand a year telling me that if they could do tech, they would have been in tech. The reason they can't do tech is because they don't like math. And I'm like, well, yeah, but when we get out here and work, I'm not doing math. I don't do math like that. Why are they telling me I got to do it? Why are you telling me that the brother that's driving trucks or the sister that's working at a call center, why can't she do it? So there is this sense of elite, we're elite. Now these are super Democrats talking to me now. I'm the conservative saying you can do it. But these guys, if I talk to them, were super Obama supporters at the time. And I was like, well, I hear you talking, but at the end of the day, I don't see nothing wrong with giving back to our people. And I think black people can compete if somebody like us go back and say, hey, this is where you get the information to learn. This is what you say when they call you and talk to you about your interview. This is what you say. This is what you put on your resume. When you need a reference, give me a call. I got you. We got a system. We got a network. We're going to do just like the Indians do. We got you. Right. And now people getting jobs. And that brother, I called him. He's still he ain't gonna say a hater, but he was actually pretty cool with him. But he just didn't believe that black people could do. Not to say he said that we can't, but those who can do it will, and those who can't. That was his attitude. Those who can do it will. Those who can't aren't there for a reason. I'm like, no, those who can do it will, and those who don't do it, or maybe just because they don't have an avenue, or they're not aware of how much money they can make. They're not aware of what they're capable of doing. If somebody comes and say, hey, let me show you where to go. Let me guide you. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. That's the problem. I don't think the black community, I think we're strong. I think we're much stronger than what we've been told. I think we're much stronger. We're much more capable. I think we can compete. I don't think it's just a lack of resources. I think it's also a lack of just knowledge. And I think we can get knowledge in the information age. I can tell you where to go on your phone and for free and teach you where to get certain skill. Now you gotta work hard, but I can show you where to go and what to do to get a job. It's really easy. Like you'd be amazed once you take my course. You're like, man, that's all I got to do. Yeah, it's gonna be work, but in 3 months, yeah, you could be out there interviewing for $100,000 job. With a high school diploma. I've done it. I put people out there. And so once I've seen that, I'm coming back to the community and coming to your channel to say that we can. Yes, we can. Like Barack Obama said it, but I really believe it. I didn't just say it and then commit to not doing nothing. I really do believe that we can compete. It's a message of hope. It's one thing, and I think that's the difference between where I'm coming from and where other people are coming from. One on one side, I'm not saying everybody because I hadn't been reading the comments lately, but on certain instances, if I've heard people come with a message of that you can't make it, that the system won't let you, whites, and it's like the white man is all knowing, all powerful, and all everywhere at the same time.
Right, the white man's Thanos. He's Thanos.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, no, the white man ain't Thanos, dude. The white man can take an L just like anybody else. The Asians kicked his ass out of his own Silicon Valley. And them motherfuckers hate them. They probably hate them Indians, but they can't stop them. What did they have? What were they armed with? Knowledge. Can we get in this day and age with a cell phone? You have a encyclopedia, Britannica, if I'm old school, in your damn hand called a damn cell phone. You can learn any damn thing. And if you hit me up, I can teach you. And I'm not just the only one, but there are ways. If you really want something in this day and age, you can get a skill, you can sign up by emailing me. You don't need to have a certification, but okay, JavaScript. Okay, email me subzero3639@gmail. But let me say this, because I got a stand-up meeting in a few minutes. But let me say this: if a person is not able to, only way I can see you not really being able to increase human capital would be if you just didn't have access to a cell phone, or you didn't have access to the internet. But because you do, and just about every African American does, and if you really want something, man, it's so easy. And I'm not trying to say it. It's easy. It's like something's easy, but it's hard. If I tell you, hey, go in the backyard and find something in the middle of the night. Well, if you don't have a flashlight, it's going to be difficult. But once you get that flashlight, man, you can find it real shortly. Won't take you but a few seconds because you got a flashlight. The knowledge is the flashlight. The cell phone is that flashlight. If you don't take advantage of it, it's your fault. It is your fault. It's not racism, white supremacy. It's not the white man. It is your fault. If you fuck up your credit in this day and age when you know you can fix your credit, it ain't hard to fix credit now. You got a million YouTubers telling you that. You want to do business in Africa. You got Dynast Amir right here. Why would I fly? Why would I fly and waste money? I'm gonna go with Dynast because I know he done been a million times. He knows everybody. He got the connections. He can make a phone call. I don't have to. So why would I reinvent the wheel? I'm gonna go with this brother. Plus it's a black business, so I would invest in him anyway. But that's what I would do. I would invest in knowledge. If you invest in knowledge, knowledge pays the highest dividends in this economy. It just does. And if you had foreknowledge of the stock market, I interviewed a kid on my channel, 13 years old, made $80,000 in like a couple of months in the stock market. 13. He's 13 years old. I mean, it's so much. This little boy charged like $300. He'll teach you. Go get some knowledge. Go increase human capital. We have the lowest human capital. We shouldn't. If we really all oppressed, we believe half the stuff that we say. We should be the most intelligent, trained, well-trained people in this. But I'm gonna make a prediction that if and when we do that, we won't be anymore. We won't be, because it's like when the guy in the movie Limitless took that pill. What happened? When he took that pill, what did he do? He went like, man, I could go into the stock market and he sat there in a day and made like $10,000 in a day. Then he went and took it and he took and cornered the market. Because it was just knowledge. That's the only difference. And I'm thinking once we increase that by taking school choice, it will increase it. It's gonna increase knowledge. There's no way in hell you could be in a failing school, and a parent who loves their child says this school is better. It has small school class size. The kids are coming out, they're getting Ivy League scholarships. I'm gonna take them out this failed school, and they say they want $5,000 a semester. I'm gonna drop that, or I might add another $1,000 a year or 2 years on top of it and drop them in there. And this child, like my niece went to a school and now she works for Microsoft. She lives in Seattle. She went to Alabama State. She cried because she made a 24 on the ACT and cried like a baby because she was valedictorian and cried because if I'd have made a 24, I'd have danced in the streets, right? But she's smart. My brother paid $1,000 a month for her to go to the school she went to, Montgomery Academy. Now my niece goes there and she's doing well. But what I'm saying is people that come out of that school, they go places. It's the best school in Montgomery, Alabama. That and Lamp. My other niece went to Lamp. She made a 30 on the ACT. You see what I'm saying? She has a full ride to Alabama State. She got everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of different things that you can get with school choice. Now, had she went to Carver or went to Lanier or went to a regular black high school, she probably still would have done well because of my sister and my brother would have been on them academically. But because they went to a better school system, had better teachers, it does make a difference. It makes a difference. And so, that's all I'm saying, man. So me, as far as Donald Trump, I'm for school choice. So that's why I'm saying I support Trump. See how I bagged into it? That's why. And because I want us to compete, I want the wall built. And when the wall gets built, more of us can get jobs, even at low skilled labor jobs, and they'll have to pay more because it'll be less of them here to compete with you for jobs. It's just math. That's all I'm doing. Just basic math. I'm not saying I love Donald Trump. I'm not saying Trump loves black people. I can care less if he wears a Klan outfit to the damn White House. I can care less. I care about black people. I care about benefits for us. That's what I care about. I got a meeting in a few, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and get prepared for it. So, Darius, brother, I enjoyed it. You there, Darius? Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I got a construction and materials test for a civil engineering class in like 10 minutes. So I'm about to say my final remarks and then go. I will say that I understand your point and I recognize that everybody can contribute to their overall betterment of the conditions. But without those necessary infrastructure and without the necessary plugs, it kind of makes it difficult. So for me,
what infrastructure?
So like me being a black college graduate, if you don't have access to, those job connections, or you don't have the financial capital,
where you go to school?
Or you don't.
Where do you go to school?
North Carolina A&T.
You gonna be straight. Go ahead. You know damn well you gonna get a job. You went to the career fair. You seen Procter and Gamble and all them. I had a career fair. I went to Tuskegee. That career fair was loaded. Procter and Gamble.
I know at A&T it's loaded. I ain't gotta worry about that for me.
What type of major do you have?
Civil engineering with a minor in physics.
Shit. You know damn well you're gonna be straight. You know you're gonna be straight. You know it. So I want to say the infrastructure. When you say infrastructure, because you have a system in a HBCU, unlike any other. It's better than going to a white college because it's more nurturing. It's more nurturing. You know that. I want to see, and that's the thing. We don't value that HBCU. If we want to run our ass to these white colleges instead of
they don't even care for you. They don't even care for you.
But we want to go instead of going to these HBCUs where I had Dr. Cyrus. I had people that were in there that in my face telling me about what's going to happen when I get in this real world. I had Asian teachers at the school, but they was hard as hell. They was hard as hell, and I'm glad they were. They were very hard. We was doing thousands of lines of code in C++ back in the day. I'm coding. It would take us a week. I would code every day in the lab and still get a C. That's just how it was. But guess what? I'm actually thankful for that experience at Tuskegee because it helped me. It formulated who I was. You have infrastructure. We have that infrastructure. Where's there not infrastructure? That's what I was saying. Where are we missing it?
I would say in low income communities that don't have access to this kind of education, who don't have access to those type of schools that are underfunded.
Where are you from?
I'm from South Carolina.
One of the poorest states, the worst education system in the union, right?
Yes.
How did you get to North Carolina A&T? What did you have? Were you rich?
I come from a middle class background, so I was able to afford stuff that other kids in my class could.
So you telling me? And we got the lights cut off. We got, I you know what I'm saying? Like I got the lights cut. I've had Christmas mornings where I woke up didn't get a damn thing, right? And I struggled through school. I wore $50 sneakers and was happy to get them, right? If it had a Nike sign on the side, I was happy because other than that, I was going to Shoe City with some $20 shoes, which meant I had to get in fights, right? And I'm right here with you. What was the common denominator?
Determination.
Well, not just determination, family upbringing. You just mentioned your family. And I think your mom and your dad probably, even if your parents are divorced, your dad gave a damn. I know it don't. I can tell by the way you talk. He gave a damn about you. He invested in you, and that's why you're where you are. Not because of how much money your parents made. I don't think so. I think it's because your parents. I don't give a damn if your parents made $20,000 apiece. You still was gonna be right where you at. Do you believe that, or you think it's because they just made a certain salary and that's the only reason you where you?
Oh are? No. I definitely agree. They instilled in me a lot of work ethic, and I got a full ride. So
yeah, so I think family values, mastering what we do have. Like I think it's good if I don't know it's gonna sound real controversial. I don't care if white colleges say they don't want black students. It won't hurt my feelings. Those black students will go right to Fisk. They'll go right to Tuskegee. If we really want independence, then damn it, we shouldn't be worried about no damn affirmative action. You take your ass, all right, fine. You racist, fine. It's gonna hurt. See, I ain't no fool. It's gonna hurt. A lot of us are gonna hurt and suffer. Then we're gonna go back to where we used to be, which is if you go back to the 40s and 50s, black colleges would have ran circles around Alabama and Auburn. Black colleges had the best academics. Our students, when you looked at what black people were able to do academically, what we were able to achieve, what we were able to build. I'm not saying I'm for segregation, but what I'm saying is independence, true independence means I don't get shit from white people. Now, am I saying that we can't engage the government? Obviously, we have to. We should engage the government. When we engage the government, I think we can engage them from a position of power after having done what I did. Then I will agree with you, and we're in line that if they doing shit, when we watch a video and I see some shit like that going on, who's the city council over there? Who's the governor? Who's the mayor? Man, it's changed.
Sub-Zero, real quick. I got one more person that wants to ask a question because I know you guys got to
go.
Antonio, go ahead. So these brothers can address your statement. Go ahead, Antonio. Antonio. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yes, it wasn't a question. I was calling because I kind of disagree with the strategy of what the brother Sub-Zero is preaching. The reason being is because for me, when I look at our base problems, it comes down to the institutions that's put in place that a lot of our own is looking to replicate, but just with a black face. And I say that because when you talk about with the sister, when she was calling in, talking about black police, and you look at the institution of police, where it comes from, and then you look at what's going on in Nigeria, it's because the institution set up produces one outcome. When black people was the first capital, it's not built for us. So for me, when I look at the whole situation, we need a community base. It ain't gonna come from black capitalist individualists who come and gentrify our community and flip homes, thinking that that's going to be our salvation, because that's not. We need the whole rethinking of how we reinvest in our communities instead of looking to be millionaires and wealthy individuals. We should be looking to be wealthy nation state, a community of people as a whole.
Yeah, but
Can I respond to that real quick? Because I got 5 minutes.
Oh, Antonio, that's what Sub-Zero's doing through his program, as far as helping people in tech.
Antonio, can I respond to that?
That's a beautiful thing, but as far as you coming with a plan, looking for peanuts from either the Democrat or Republican Party, that's a failed mission. I think we as a people should have our own party with our own interests instead of begging and trying to say that the lesser of two evils.
He's saying that he's talking about me. Let me say this one thing. If brother,
Okay.
if you want your own, I'm all for that. Get your own. I have no problem with that. Everything that I talk about was from a place of getting benefits for black people. That's what you want. We both want the same thing. You're saying strategy.
No,
you're saying we want different. You got a different strategy. Just completely break out. As far as something being designed for us to fail, let me say this right here. If it's designed for me to fail, why would I study 30 minutes a night? Knowing if I believe that, if I'm cognizant of the fact that white people designed this system for me to fail, why would I give them 30 minutes of homework a night? Why would I drop out at such rates that I do? Why would I, you get what I'm saying? Why would I graduate? Because I have to take responsibility for graduating school and can't read at a basic level. That's an individual that hasn't really applied themselves. Because I don't think we're inferior. See, I think I ain't gonna say superior, but we the shit. So we're not even trying. If we try, I'm just talking about that aspect. Now, once that gets done, what black people can do collectively, you can pick the phone up and call me, hey, brother, I want to do da. At least if I got some money, I can help you. I'm not saying that black people can't come together and do things in their community, but if we're gonna do that, let's increase our baseline so that when I can call you, if your ass ain't struggling to pay the light bill, then, bro, I gotta go. I got 2 minutes. Y'all have a good one, man.
All right, Darius.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Close out.
Yeah,
go ahead, Darius.
I'm about to say. So I'll answer your question, Antonio. I do understand where you're coming from, because at the end of the day, like, even though we can build up our community and have those resources, those resources have to be distributed equally. And if they're not being redistributed, then you have a situation where you have like a W.E.B. Du Bois talented 10th mentality where, oh, we're educated, we got college degrees, we're the doctorate, so therefore we should have this, we should be able to sort of give this to you. And it sort of ends up this recycling period, which is why, a lot of our, revolutionaries said that if you follow the response to white capitalism is not black capitalism. So I definitely understand your point. I got 2 minutes for this test. Thank you, Don, for having me on. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Good day.
Yeah, everyone, thank you so much. All right, peace, fam. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Again, Sierra Leone, April 21st to the 30th. Come and join us. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the content. Go to dynastymir.com. Get your books, get your merchandise. Until next time, family. Peace.